then clearly the new governor will take will and should take a new look at it and consider the issue afresh from every perspective. As Oshima just said, clearly, ultimately the RBI has to decide and its governor has to decide, but there is absolutely no harm. In fact, traditionally it has been a great benefit to governors to take the views of different people. I think I mentioned this earlier also. Often when issue is a difficult professional issue, it is good to get various committees, various aspects, various stakeholders' views on this. Now, how exactly this
Dr.
governor
Virmani,
does it, we'll have to wait.
Apologies, I'm interrupting you because Mr. Das has arrived and he is going to be speaking. So that's the new RBI governor. We've spent a lot of time with him here in North Block in his various roles as Revenue Secretary, as the Economic Affairs Secretary. Of course, he oversaw the demonetization exercise, and he was, in a sense, the public face of that entire exercise. He was the one briefing the media practically every day during the course of demonetization, and now he gets ready to face the media in another challenging time, and that is as he mends relations between the government and the Reserve Bank.
Please, because I can't, I can't see. Okay, so good evening, dear friends. Thank you for coming over at a very short notice. Your colleagues and friends in Delhi are very upset with me. Of course, I can see some of them here, because yesterday they were all trying to reach me, and I was not able to speak to the media in Delhi yesterday. So I'm sure they would be very upset, but there will be other opportunities to speak to them. So I want to be very brief, and I'm not really planning to make any, major announcements or anything like that, because it needs time for me to settle down to study all the issues. I just want to mention a few points. First, you would be aware that I assumed charge today in the morning as the 25th governor, and I am grateful for all the good wishes which I have received from many of you who are present here. The RBI is a great institution. It has got a very long legacy, a very rich legacy, and I will do everything that is possible. I'll try and uphold the professionalism, the core values, the credibility and the autonomy of the Reserve Bank as an institution. I have interacted at various levels with the officials of the Reserve Bank of India over the last 10 years or more than 10 years. And the interaction has been not only at the senior levels, but also at the middle level and even down the line. And there were situations where I was leading delegations from Government of India, which included officers from Reserve Bank of India, and I always found that they possess inherent core competence and professionalism to deal with any technical issue, be it monetary aspects or be it other aspects of currency management or other aspects of work relating to the functioning of central bank. So I'm looking forward to work with the entire team of officers and staff of the Reserve Bank of India. Now, it's a great opportunity for any individual, and especially for me, to work in RBI and thereby to serve the country. That might sound a bit cliched, but it is indeed a great opportunity. And I will work as a team with other officials here in the best interest of the economy, and try and take measures in a timely manner on issues, on aspects which the economy requires or which are in the best interest of the Indian economy. Decision making in the modern times have become very complex. Today we are living in a very dynamic world. It's much more dynamic than what it was, say, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago is a long period in the past, but even 3 years or 5 years ago. Decision making in today's world has become far more complex. And consultation with stakeholders is very important. consultation with all the stakeholders always adds value to our understanding of issues. It adds depth to our understanding of issues. So therefore, I propose to undertake consultations wherever necessary as per requirement in a need-based manner on various issues. To begin with, I have convened a meeting with the MD and CEOs of the MDs and the CEOs of the public sector banks tomorrow in the morning. And as you know, banking is an important segment of our economy, and it's currently facing several challenges which are of critical importance, and they need to be dealt with. There have been, I'm not implying in any manner that nothing has been done. A lot has been done. A lot has been done both by the government and by the Reserve Bank of India. Several measures have been taken, but many more measures also perhaps need to be taken. So tomorrow morning, I propose to undertake a consultation with the MDs and CEOs of the public sector banks who are based in Mumbai. Then immediately after that, maybe after another few days, I'll hold a consultation with the chiefs of public sector banks which are located outside Mumbai, because you cannot expect people who are outside Mumbai to come at such a short notice. Then subsequently, at some stage, I will have an interaction with the private sector banks also to understand the issues relating to them. So on the whole, it's a banking sector which I would like to focus immediately, but this will be followed by other kind of stakeholder consultations as may be required. There are a number of issues ahead. We have, of course, as you know, after the amendment of the Reserve Bank of India Act, the inflation targeting continues to be very important. And it's very heartening to note that the inflation, broadly, it is as per the targets. And the inflation outlook also looks fairly benign at this stage, but we have to be very watchful of the developments. The issue of health of public sector banks, I have already mentioned, that's an important issue. The issue of liquidity also comes up in the media space and in the public space from time to time. There again, I think that will be an area where one has to interact with stakeholders and get an internal feedback and then take a view on these issues. The maintenance of the growth trajectory of the Indian economy is also important. And so there are several areas which a central bank has to be dealing with. And so we will focus on those areas. And all these issues have been under focus. Let me make it very clear. It's not as if these areas did not receive any attention. I want to be very clear that all these aspects have been receiving focus, but it's a continuing exercise on the part of the central bank. So therefore, we will continue to focus on these areas. And you may be aware that the central board meeting is scheduled to be held on the 14th of December. So we will hold the central board meeting as planned and go through the agenda and discuss the various issues that are listed. And I must also, before I conclude, like to make note of the stewardship provided by my predecessor, Dr. Urjit Patel, to the Reserve Bank of India in the last 2.5 years. And I would like to also convey my best wishes to Dr. Urjit Patel for all his future endeavors. So thank you. I'll stop here.
So, can you tell us something about...
So I'll just take very few questions because as I mentioned earlier...
So will the issue...
one word on capital.
Just one minute. Just one moment. Just one. I'll start here and come back. Yes.
Sir, I would like to know that there is a view that the RBI management should be accountable to the RBI board, and many important decisions should be there in the board. The board should have many committees. This is the view from the government, which the RBI under the previous governor's regime resisted, protested. What is your view on the issue of governance for RBI, which is a very important issue that will be discussed on the board meeting on 14th?
No, I would not like to go into what were the issues or what are the issues between government, which is an important, which runs the country, and the Reserve Bank of India. But every institution, every institution has to have its professional integrity, maintain its professional autonomy. At the same time, every institution also must adhere to principles of accountability.
Sir, if I can please take a question, sir, you're coming in at a time. You're coming in at a time.
I'll just come. Yes.
Sir, the Reserve Bank's capital has been a contentious issue. What are your views? Do you expect the committee to take a call before the fiscal year is out?
No, let the committee be constituted. I think as you are aware, the committee has to be constituted, and I think very shortly the committee will be constituted. And then the terms of reference of the committee will drop, so that will spell out how much time is required. So based on that, no, we'll have to consult whoever becomes the chairman of the committee. He has to be consulted before we fix a timeline.
Sir, if I may ask a question, sir, you are coming to RBI as the 25th governor under unprecedented circumstances. If I may ask you a very frank and a candid and maybe a little blunt question, the relationship between the central government and the central bank has hit rock bottom. Will your priority be to first fix that relationship before some of the issues that you've listed out? The channels of communication seemingly are blocked.
No, I don't know about, what is blocked and